So we'll come onto the mat and we're going to start today in a reclined position. We're just going to open right up into this restful reclined butterfly. So take your big bolster behind you. Oh, and you will need a strap for today's practice as well. So make sure that you have a strap nearby to you. And as you set up for your reclined butterfly, taking an angle with the big bolster, placing a block underneath it, and perhaps placing another bolster on top so the neck is nice and supported. We will be here for quite a while, so I do recommend supporting the thighs with another, either a rolled blanket or another prop underneath the thighs. You can, of course, extend your legs straight out, but if you're able to, you can bring the soles of the feet together, and the sandbag will feel really nice to anchor those feet down. And then we'll come back as you're ready and get nice and cozy in this reclined butterfly position. So make any and all adjustments that you need to make for your comfort here. Comfort in your position, comfort in the clothing, making sure that all of your body parts can rest. So the upper arms resting onto the floor. Let your eyes close. And we're going to relax in here. So as you take your first breaths, this sense of settling in, settling down. And begin to follow your breath consciously, watching the inhales and the exhales. And tune into the rhythm and the pace of the breath. Willingly, we step into this pause in our day. An opportunity to reunite with our deeper self. Now let your attention just drift down into the belly. Without changing anything, just become aware of how the breath is moving in the belly. Give your full, undivided attention to the expansion of the belly on the inhale. And watching on the exhale how the belly drops. without hurrying the breath in any way. The breath may begin to take on sublime qualities of slowness and generosity. Let yourself go with that slow breath. Feeling with every passing exhale, your body sinking down and down into all these points of contact between the bolster and the floor and your body. The breath still in the belly. Now awareness in the belly, the center of the body, allowing for a softening and an expansion at this navel center. Taking a moment here to honor all of our vital organs, which are working constantly, usually outside of our conscious awareness, to keep our body radiantly healthful. So as you're breathing into the belly, as you're softening and expanding into the navel center, holding also this appreciation for the intelligence within the organs. Sending our organs some love. Let your attention move upward into the chest. Again, don't change anything when you're breathing. But just begin to notice how the breath is flowing now through the ribs and the chest. Perhaps feeling the expansion of the inhale and the contraction of the exhale. Awareness in the center of the chest, softening and expanding the heart center. And being with whatever you find there. enjoying the sensation of breathing consciously and deeply. And sending some appreciation and love to the intelligence within the lungs, within the heart, working beyond our control to keep us alive and well. And once more, awareness moves up to the head. As if you could breathe in and out through the eyebrow center. And allow this to have a softening and soothing effect for the brain, letting the mind expand and soften on the breath. And sending some appreciation for this processing unit of the brain. Thinking of all that comes in through our eyes, through our ears, through all of our senses, our sense of taste and smell and touch. All of this input happening all the time from the external world. And then there's the inner storehouse of thoughts and emotions, also constantly being processed. So we can experience that at one level, and also experiencing at another level this appreciation for the mind, for the brain. Sending our love there. Now please release all effort. Aware that your body is lying here, aware that you are breathing, aware of a sense of deepening relaxation and ease. Breathing into this whole body. Feeling the arms and the legs, the trunk and torso, the neck and head. As you breathe deeply, let the fingers and the toes begin to wiggle just a little bit. We're going to keep this feeling of connection with our whole self, our physical self, as we slowly now release. You might lift the knees or straighten the legs. Come to one side and press up into a seated position. Sitting in Sukhasana. Let the hands rest onto the knees. The eyes closed. Noticing how you're feeling after that. Deep dive into breath and body appreciation. Now we'll take this feeling, this meditative feeling with us as the eyes open, and we'll come into our next pose, which is a child's pose. It's different though. So take your bolsters away. Come onto the knees. And extend one leg out to the side. So the leg comes out to the side, and from here we sit the hips back onto the heels with that leg extended. Now you can use a bolster if you want for support for the torso, if that feels good. Or you can release the forehead down to the floor. We're not going to hold this child's pose as long as we usually might, because of the intensity that just having one knee bent poses to that bent knee. And also the strength of stretching through the groin on the extended leg side. Now, if you're not feeling much of that stretch in the leg, try bringing your foot a little further forward and then sitting back with this leg at an angle to the hip. And connect in with that same wonderful feeling of connection to breath and body, of appreciation for body. Let us not take for granted our good health. And that we have limbs and joints that freely move without pain is a gift. That we have breath that can flow unhindered is a gift. Let's come up now. Nice and slow. Make your way towards tabletop, sliding that leg back carefully. Take your time. Release the hips from side to side as if you're going to sit down onto the floor, stretching into the outer hip. And we'll come down onto the belly for Sphinx pose. Take your feet nice and wide, resting onto the forearms. Getting good support from the bones of the upper body so that there's not a lot of muscular effort here. And now we can take our awareness once again right down into that navel center. Noticing how when we breathe to the deep belly on inhale, it presses, the belly presses into the earth. And feeling that gentle therapeutic squeeze for the back body as well here. The beauty of all existence rests within you. Heaven peers from your two eyes. Compare yourself to another and watch how quickly the light goes out. Thus, when you see beauty within, you'll see it without. As heaven shows, the healer knows. Unconditional love has no opposite. This is true balance. We'll release down, either crossing the hands with the forehead resting onto the hands or turning the head to one side. Hands can be back by the hips if that's what you prefer. Taking your deep balloon breaths. Feeling the fullness of your body sink into the floor, resting completely. We'll come up again once more into that Sphinx position. Setting yourself up, enjoying that squeeze for back body, feeling a sense of opening and length along the front body. Very subtly, energetically here, you can feel the pubic bone, right? It's pressing down into the floor. Try to lengthen your pubic bone down towards the knees, just a little bit. Not a lot, but just this subtle energetic action of sending the pubic bone down towards the knees, lengthening it down towards the feet. Will create even more energetic squeezing into that lower back. This may feel good for you. You may wish not to apply this energetic cue. It's up to you. Now with that pubic bone, if you're choosing to lengthen it down towards the toes, Now try to lengthen your belly button away from the pubic bone. So the pubic bone is anchoring down towards the toes, but you're lifting the belly button away from it. Feel that deepen just a bit more into your sphinx. And we'll release down. All right, so head comes down, opposite ear to the mat, or again, forehead onto crossed hands. Feeling that balloon breath. Using your breath to lengthen the lower back if possible. And just through awareness and intention. The hands will come under the shoulders. Do protect your lower back by engaging the core as we come back to tabletop. So we want the core strong so the lower back is stable. Yep. And now the opposite leg will come out to the side. We'll sit back once again into our child's pose with the opposite leg extended. So you might rest the torso on a bolster. You might choose to let the forehead come down to the floor or down onto your head. Breathing. Grounding and connecting with the earth. We'll come back up to tabletop. Again, take it slow as you walk that foot in. From your tabletop, sway the hips side to side. Releasing into the outer hip. Now, finding your center here in tabletop, take your left foot up and back, lift it, and bring it across towards your right side. So you're going to reach that the left toes are lifted, and bring the toes down to the outside of your right foot. So as we stretch that leg really far, breathe that left hip away from the left shoulder, and then turn to look at your right toes. Breathing into the side body. You're feeling that stretch right where the pelvis and the side waist meet. And we'll unwind back to center. Take your time. Take a breath here in tabletop. Now your right leg goes up and you'll move it across your body towards the left side, placing it down as far as you comfortably can there. The toes are tucked under. You're feeling that nice stretch and then turning to look over your left shoulder towards the right toes. Breathe fully, deeply, slowly. And please come back to center. Now from tabletop, come down onto the forearms. Keep the hips right above the knees, puppy pose. We'll take it one side at a time first. Right arm goes straight. Pivot on the left elbow so that your left forearm is parallel to the top of your mat. And adjust that forearm so that as you bring your head down, your forehead rests onto the left forearm. The right arm is reaching. And we're breathing deep into this nice stretch into the armpit and shoulder on the right side. The heart is melting down. Notice how well you can listen to your breath here. So use that sound of your breath to enhance your meditation. Where can you release extraneous tension and holding? Granted, this posture does require a little bit more muscular activation than others. We'll come up out of this, so carefully pressing into your tabletop, and we'll arch our spine up to the ceiling, letting the head drop, coming into angry cat. Press down both hands into the floor and feel the back of the heart arching up. Head is dropped, it's heavy. Breathing into the space between the shoulder blades. Return to neutral spine. Come down onto forearms, hips stay above the knees. Other side, left arm goes straight, right forearm comes parallel to the top of your mat. Let your head release down onto right forearm here, and the left arm is extended and a little bit active. Listening for the sound of your breath and feeling each delicious breath really opening through the ribs. And there's this incredible fascial release through the armpit and down into the side body through the latissimus dorsi muscle. You can enhance and facilitate this release by breathing deeply, by feeling fully our body's experience, and working with our body with appreciation. We'll come back nice and slowly, making our way again to angry cat, pressing into both hands equally, arching the spine, dropping the head. Now, We're feeling the shoulder blades separating, but also trying to hug your belly button, round it up and into the body, using some strength here to really arch the spine as best you can. And we'll release. Now we're going to do both. So come down onto both forearms, full on puppy pose. And the arms will straighten and the forehead will come down. This is also called Anahatasana. Anahata is the Sanskrit name for the heart center, the heart chakra. And this pose is all about melting the heart down. And we get there through this incredible opening through the shoulders. It also brings the bend of the spine, that nice compression of the spine higher into the mid-spine. So in Sphinx, we were compressing and nourishing the lower spine. And in Puppy, now we're right at like T12, the bra line area, feeling that spine opening. Just a couple more breaths. And we'll come up nice and slow. Walk the hands back. Just take a tabletop here with a nice neutral spine. And now please find your seat. We'll sit in Sukhasana. With the legs comfortably crossed, circle the shoulders. Inhale them up, exhale them back and down, nice and slow. There's quite a deep stretch into the shoulders. Go in the other direction with the shoulder rolls. Good. Now, see if you can, behind your back, either bring your fists together or grab onto your wrists, or maybe you can even grab onto your elbows behind the back. All right, drop the chin to the chest, stay nice and tall in your seat, mindful of your breathing. We're just going to work a quarter of the circle. Bring your right ear out to the shoulder, and then bring your chin forward and down to center. So this is really slow and deep. Inhaling ear to shoulder, and exhaling chin to center. No hurry. Feeling into the neck and the upper shoulder. We'll do one more on this side. And when your chin comes back down to center, now we'll switch sides. So inhaling left ear to shoulder and down the center. Continue. One more. And when your head comes back down to center, keep it there. Release your hands to interlace them behind the head. Stay nice and tall through the spine and upper shoulders, but do allow the weight of the hands to gently guide the head forward. Releasing the hands, the head comes to a natural neutral position, and you'll take your hands onto the chest just below the collarbone, one hand on top of the other while you press in and down towards the belly button. Now keep the jaw closed and lift the chin. Head returns to neutral. Hands release down, close the eyes, take a breath or two here. Just notice. Awareness of breath in belly and breath in the chest and breath in the third eye. And let the eyes softly open. Extend your legs out in front of you. Excuse me. The legs are extended and they're hips distance apart or so. Let the head get really heavy and draw your body forward and down. And you may use a block or a bolster for support for the head if you wish. So the breath moves into the back body here. We did a lot of breathing into the front body earlier, our very first supported reclining pose. So see if you can now get a sense of the breath in the lower back, in the back of the heart, back of the ribs. With every breath, there's a deeper release with gravity. Those who know are silent. Those who do not know babble on forever. Surrender your demands. Forgo your dramas. Ignore magical tricks. Abandon the marketplace. Claim neither victory nor defeat. Feel earth living in muscle and blood. Spoken, it loses meaning. Lived, its power transcends limitation. With the palms down onto the mat, slowly walk back up, vertebrae by vertebrae, keeping the chin tucked. until the very last. And then the chin can unwind as you sit upright with eyes closed, taking a few breaths of integration. Eyes softly open. We'll come out onto the back. Please lie down. Have your strap and a bolster nearby. As you lie down, hug the knees first into the chest. Head relaxes onto the mat. Stepping your left foot down onto the floor. Take your strap around the right foot. So there are two options. You can make a loop with your strap. And if you're making a loop with your strap, then you can bring the back of the strap around the base of the head so that the bottom of the strap is level with the top of the ears. And then you can relax the weight of the head down, and this creates a nice pull for the hamstring. Alternatively, if that doesn't feel good for your neck, or you just wish to hold on to the strap, keeping your upper arms on the floor, grab onto the strap with both hands. And you might have your foot far away from you. It might be more at a 45-degree angle or so, or the heel might be right above the hip, or maybe even closer in. It doesn't matter so much. Left knee can stay lifted, or you can also straighten your left leg out onto the floor, just depending on your body. The eyes can close. Go ahead and lift your left knee if you haven't yet. And if you have the strap behind the head, you can release it, and the left foot will come up to replace the right. Right knee can stay lifted, or you can extend right foot out onto the mat. That strap can be around the head, or you can be holding on. Whatever is your preference and bliss in the moment. And the hands will reach up to release the strap from around the head. And take the strap off to the side as both knees come into the chest once more. Hands wrap around. Give a nice firm squeeze as you take several deep belly breaths. Now we'll find twisted roots just for a few breaths. Left leg comes on top of the right. So the left knee is on top. It's also known as supine eagle. Knees come down to the right side. Maybe they rest onto a bolster or maybe they rest on the floor. And extend your left arm out from the shoulder. Breathing here. Let your bones be at rest. With your inhale, release, come back to center and switch your legs, bringing the right knee on top of the left and bringing your knees down to the left side, looking out through the right shoulder. We don't have so long here, which is why we're doing this variation of the spinal twist, which is a little bit stronger and more intense. And you'll come back to center. Unwind the legs, rest the feet onto the mat with knees lifted just for a moment. Hands onto the lower belly. As you exhale, tailbone lifts a little bit. Lower back flattens onto the floor. And as you inhale, tailbone drops down, lower back arches off the floor. Just a few pelvic tilts like this. Exhaling to lift the tailbone, flattening lower back. Inhaling, tailbone drops, lower back lifts. Return to neutral and extend your legs straight out for Shavasana. Maybe placing the legs over a bolster. Release the hands so the palms face up and walk the shoulder blades underneath the back. Release the breath and settle in for a nice deep rest here. And in our Shavasana, we return to appreciation for this body. There is much that goes on beyond our understanding or control. It's directly related to our health and our well-being. So let's make this prayer to our body. Repeating silently to yourself as if speaking to a beloved, speaking to your body. I offer you peace. I offer you love. I offer you friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your need. I feel your feelings. My wisdom flows from the highest source. I salute that source in you. Let us work together. Let us work together for unity and love. Now begin to awaken your breath, deepening breath, wiggling fingers and toes, taking your time, arms and legs moving, perhaps taking a full body stretch or bringing the knees into the chest. And come to your seat. Take your time arriving. Palms touching at heart center. And from the softness and expansion in our breath, we'll make our closing chant, exhaling, inhaling deeply together. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. By the light and the love of the truth, for the happiness and the healing of all beings, everywhere in all the realms seen and unseen, we offer and dedicate the merits of our practice for the benefit of all that is, all that was, and all that ever will be. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you.